Hello zusammen, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all having an awesome day so far. If it's your first time here, welcome. If it's not your first time here, welcome as well. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Diana and I am a Canadian expat living and working in Berlin, Germany. And today I'm going to share with you some tips on what you can do to prepare for your move to Germany. I get a ton of questions about this. A lot of you are wondering, how you should prepare, what you should do, what the steps are. So I wanted to go ahead and talk all about that so that you feel empowered, prepared, and ready to make your move abroad. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. So the first tip that I have is preparation is key. So for any of my procrastinators out there, right now is not your moment. Do not procrastinate. The sooner that you can prepare, the more organized that you can be, the easier this whole transition is going to be for you. Now, moving abroad can be a very stressful process, and it's also a very emotional process because you're uprooting everything and moving, across the world to a different city, to a different town, new surroundings, new culture. And with that comes a lot of emotions and a lot of things that you may not know how to handle. But I find that if you stay organized and you actually have a to-do list of all of the things that you need to get done prior to getting on that plane to Germany, then this will make everything a lot easier. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of the old-fashioned pen and paper. I love making to-do lists. It helps me stay really organized that way. But if you're not the type of person who likes to have, an actual book and paper, use your notes app on your phone, write yourself an email of all of the things that you need to do. And again, this will make everything a lot easier for you to actually accomplish everything that you need to do. So the next thing that you want to think about is what you want to do with all of your belongings. So do you want to sell your furniture and your clothes? Do you want to put it in storage, or do you actually want to move it over with you? Now, this is going to look different for every single one of you. Some of you may have a more minimalist approach where you just want to move over with a couple of suitcases because maybe you're not sure how long you're going to stay here for. Or maybe for some of you, you actually want to move over with all of your furniture because you're going to make Germany your brand new home and you don't want to have to worry about having to buy furniture all over again and not having all of your belongings and all of your clothes. Maybe you're moving over with a partner, so you guys have a lot of things that you need to bring over, or you're moving over with your family or your pets. So obviously you'll have to bring a lot more things with you. So this is going to look, again, different for every single one of you. But for those of you who are interested in moving a lot of your things, like your furniture, like the majority of your belongings, I'm very excited to actually talk about today's sponsor because they are going to help you out a ton with this process. I get a lot of questions about, the logistics of moving all of your belongings, and today's sponsor is Eurosender, which will help you with all of that. So Eurosender is actually a modern digital platform that provides access to global shipping services. So if you are looking to ship out all of your things to Germany or a large majority of your belongings, then this will be the perfect company for you because they're going to be able to provide you with stress-free services that are easy to deal with, reliable, and also quite affordable. So I wanted to bring them up because I do get a lot of questions about this, and I think that their services are really great and will help you out throughout this transition. So since they have access to a wide range of logistic partners, there's a ton of services that you can take advantage of while you are moving and dealing with this whole transition. Of course, for all of you who are planning to move here to work or to study, they have full removal services so that you can actually ship all of your belongings from your home to Germany, and they will notify you through every step of the way, so it's a really easy transition for you. Another service that's pretty cool is the envelope service. So this comes quite in handy if you need to ship out important documents securely and really fast. So if you have to deal with visa documentation, passport documentation, even employment documentation, and you need to ship that from your hometown to Germany or vice versa, they can help you out with that. And then of course, they also have the service that you can easily ship packages and letters and gifts back home. So if you want to send your family a special gift during the holiday season, or maybe your family wants to send you a special gift, they can also use the services too. So that's pretty cool, and I think it will come quite in handy for all of you who are making this transition. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down below so that you can check out all of their services, what they offer, and take advantage of it if you are looking to move over. Now, the third thing that I recommend is to start organizing your finances and your money and allocate specific money for your move. So there's three things that I specifically want to bring up here related to money. The first thing is to make sure that you have a good amount of money for the beginning stages of you living abroad. So for instance, for some of you who are coming here on a job seeker visa, you don't have a job lined up, and you know that maybe you're going to be here for 6 months looking for a job, you want to make sure that you have money to support your livelihood here during that time. Even for those of you who come here with a job lined up already, it's also a great idea to have some backup money in case maybe things don't work out with your job, you don't like it, or you just want more financial security while you are here. So as a general rule, I like to recommend that people come here with at least 4 to 6 months of saving to support, their day-to-day expenses, accommodation, food, and the basic necessities, so that you don't have that added stress and added pressure of trying to figure out where you're gonna get money from while you are trying to settle in a new country or while you are trying to look for a job. Now, the second thing that I want to mention here is that it's always good to have some emergency money for a plane ticket back home. You never know when there's going to be an emergency that requires you to get up and leave and go back home, or maybe you feel homesick and you need to go home for a bit just to, get your fix of back home and be with your family. It's always really nice to have that extra money set aside so that you can actually book your ticket back home, and of course book your ticket back to Germany when you have had your fix of home. So I always recommend doing that because, again, you never know what life is going to throw your way, and it's always good to have that amount of money set aside. The third thing related to money and finances is to make sure that you have at least 2 to 3 months rent set aside for a deposit. That is very, very common in Germany when you're going to look for a place to rent. Typically, landlords require 2 to 3 months worth of rent so that they can have that on hand in case you damage the apartment or something goes wrong while you are living in it. So this is, again, very important. It's something that I wasn't used to, and I was definitely shocked when I went to rent an apartment here. I hadn't really prepped for this. So I always like to give that warning because I know every country has different rules when it comes to rent deposit, and back home in Toronto, I wasn't used to it. So I was like, okay, this is gonna hurt my pocket for a little bit, but what are you gonna do? Those are the rules here, and you just have to, deal with it. So yeah, keep that in mind when it comes to your living expenses. The fourth thing that I want to recommend is to not ignore your responsibilities in your current home where you're living right now prior to moving to Germany. I know that when you're planning your move, you want to sort everything out so that once you get to Germany, you're prepared and you can hit the ground running. But it's so important to actually take care of things at home. So if you have to cancel your phone bill, make sure you do that. Make sure you cancel your internet, your hydro, water bill, electricity, whatever it is, any outstanding bills that you have, any money that you owe in your current place, make sure to take care of that, and also make sure to cancel any payments, because you don't want to have to deal with that when you move to Germany, when you're trying to settle in your new life. That's just going to be a hassle. So make sure you take care of all of that beforehand. And also you want to make sure that you're just not wasting your money and paying for things that you no longer need, like a phone bill back home. So make sure you have a to-do list specifically for things that still need to be taken care of in your current home, so that you can then get rid of that. And then when you come to Germany, you'll have more or less a fresh start here. Number 5 is to have an unlocked phone. This is really important. You can go to your current phone provider in your home country and tell them that you need to have your phone unlocked. And this will make it so much easier when you go ahead and set up your phone here in Germany, because you can just go to the local drugstore once you get here, buy a SIM card for like 10 to 15 euros, and that will give you a local phone number, which will obviously be very, very important when setting up things like your banking, health insurance, applying for jobs. So make sure that you do have an unlocked phone, and that you don't have to worry about buying a phone here or setting up, a long-term phone contract here, because that's just a hassle. And again, you probably want to use the phone that you already have. So make sure to sort that out prior to leaving your home country. I want to talk about your family and friends. Make sure that you set aside time during this whole moving process to actually spend with your friends and family. This is so important, because not only will this be a huge transition for you as the person moving abroad, but also for your family and friends. They're gonna miss you. It's a big change for them not to have you around. And I think it's super important for you to actually spend quality time with them. Talk to them about the emotions that you're going through. Talk to them about your plans of, moving abroad and coming back to visit them. Make them part of this whole process, and it's going to make things a lot easier. And also remember that when you move abroad, the people back home at the end of the day will most likely be your crew for life. They're going to be the people that will be there to encourage you and support you when things get tough in Germany, because they will. Things are not always going to run smoothly, so you don't want to disregard the people that have always been there for you. So spend quality time with them, even though it's going to be stressful in the midst of you trying to figure everything out and actually sort out your life. Just make sure to include them in any way possible, and you'll definitely not regret it. You'll really cherish the time that you spent with them. So yeah, that's super important. And I know a lot of people sometimes do ignore it, and then they regret it once they move here. Number 7 is to breathe. Do it with me, guys. Breathing is so important in this whole process. You have to take a moment for yourself to relax and to try your best to enjoy this process. Even though it's stressful, even though you have a lot of emotions, even though you probably are not getting a lot of sleep because your mind is running at 1,000,000 miles per hour, it's so important to breathe and to try to take it as easy as possible. As I said earlier on, moving abroad is an extremely emotional process. You're feeling a lot of things, you're having to do a lot of things, and that's completely normal, but try your best to take control of your mind and those emotions, because it will make it for a much smoother transition. You're gonna be able to enjoy the process a lot more, and you're just gonna be able to then enjoy your life here too, because you won't have post-traumatic stress from moving. It's just gonna be much easier. Now, for those of you who are in the process of moving, maybe you're experiencing anxiety, you're worried about the next steps when you actually get to Germany, I do offer one-on-one coaching calls where we can talk about this transition. I can answer your questions about moving here, and I can give you a guideline for that. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, don't worry, we can chat, we can go through all of those emotions, we can unpack everything, and we can help make this a much better transition for you and a much more memorable and positive transition, because I know it can be extremely stressful. I stressed out so much prior to moving here. I bleached my hair like super blonde because I was just stressed out. I don't know, that was my defense mechanism. I think I was quite emotional and I cried a lot too. So I know what it feels like, and that's why I do offer these coaching calls to help you with the transition and let you know that everything is going to be okay. So if you are interested in booking a call with me and you want to learn more about moving here, finding a job here, all of the things that come with moving abroad, links will be down below, of course, as they always are. But that is pretty much it for today's video, you guys. I really hope that you found this helpful, and a big shout out and thank you to Eurosender for sponsoring today's video. Again, for all of your shipping and logistic needs, make sure to check them out down below in the description. And for all of you who are new to the channel or you haven't hit like on this video, make sure to do so. It really helps out my channel and it allows for a lot more people to see my videos and get them motivated to move abroad as well. But thank you so much, you guys. I hope that you have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!